in the circuit given, I1 and I2 currents are respectively are. So you have to find out what is the I1 and what is the I2. Total current in the circuit is 9 amperes and it is divided into two branches as I1 and I2. So here the magnitude of the current I1 and I2 are depends upon the resistances. So to find out currents, you have to apply a current division formula. So current division formula says that if you want to find out the current in this branch, so you have to multiply the total current with opposite resistance divided by sum of the two resistances. So let us find out what is the current I1. The current I1 in the branch 3 ohm, so it is equal to total current 9 amperes multiplied by opposite resistance. As we need to find out the current in this branch, opposite branch resistance is 6 ohms divided by sum of the two resistances which are in parallel. So these are the 3 plus 6. So it is 9 multiplied by 6 over 9. So this you will get 6 amperes. And if you want to find out current I2 in the branch 6 ohm resistance, so again the same 9 amperes total current multiplied by opposite resistance. As we need to find out current flowing through the 6 ohm resistance, opposite to this branch is a 3 ohm. So 3 divided by sum of the two resistances which are in parallel. These are 3 plus 6. So this is again equal to 9 multiplied by 3 divided by 9. So these two gets cancelled. So it is 3 amperes. So here also 9 gets cancelled. You will get 6 amperes. So I1 is 6 amperes and I2 is 3 amperes. So correct option is 2. Thevenin's equivalent resistance across the terminals A, B is. So you have to find out what is the Thevenin's equivalent resistance between the terminals A and B. So in order to find out that, we need to short circuit voltage source. So voltage source has to be short circuited and current sources has to be open circuited, has to replace with their uh, internal resistances. So voltage source short circuited and current source are open circuited. Now here it will be open circuited and so this is short circuited. Now this will become like this. So it is 2 ohm and it is 4 ohm. So these are the A, B terminals. So equivalent resistance, as these two are connected in series, equivalent resistance between the terminals A and B. So it is 2 plus 4, it is 6 ohm. So Thevenin's equivalent resistance is 6 ohm. A series RLC circuit with R equal to 10 ohm is connected to 100 volts AC supply. When the circuit is under resonance, the current is and power factor is. So you have to find out what is the current and what is the power factor under resonance condition. Here we have resistor, inductor and capacitor connected in series and science AC supply of 100 volts. So resistance value it is given as a 10 ohm and let it be this is the inductive reactance XL and capacitive reactance XC. So here we have to find out what is the current and power factor under resonance condition. Under resonance condition, if you draw the reactance versus the frequency, so if you consider capacitive reactance, so this is the reactance versus frequency. And if you draw, so this is capacitive reactance. So if you draw the inductive reactance, the graph will be like this. This is XL. So at some point, these two will be equal. So that point is called as a resonance frequency. So at resonance frequency, XL and XV will be equal. So XL equal to XC. So net reactance. So that is a net reactance XT. So this will be 0. This will be 0. So this circuit will be like this. Now it is having the only resistance and connected to 100-volt source. 100-volt source. So here net reactance at this point, it is 0. So this is at resonance condition. At resonance condition, and it is acts as a purely resistive circuit. So the current I in the circuit is given by I equal to V by R, and V is 100 volts divided by 10. So the current is 10 amperes. The current flowing in the circuit is a maximum under resonant condition. So if you draw the graph versus current versus the frequency, at resonance condition, it reaches to the maximum value, and it is like this. So it is I max equal to V by R. And at resonance condition, the impedance is minimum, and it is like this. Impedance is minimum. Impedance Z, it is equal to R. Now if we divide before and after resonance, so here Xc is greater than XL. In this condition, here XL is greater than XC. XL is greater than XC. So the current in the circuit under resonance, it is at 10 amperes. Resonance frequency, so it acts as a purely resistive circuit. So current and voltage are in phase. So power factor, it is unity. Power factor is unity. Because current and voltage are in phase, the angle between them, it is a 0. Cos 0, it is unity. Cos 0 equal to unity. So when the circuit is under resonance, the current is 10 amperes and the power factor is unity. So second option is correct. In a RLC series circuit, R equal to 3 ohm, XL equal to 2 ohm, and XC equal to 6 ohm, the power factor is. So here if you observe, capacitive reactance is greater than the inductive reactance. Xc is greater than XL. So this circuit gives leading power factor. So as Xc is greater than XL, so this circuit gives leading power factor. Now the power factor angle is given by equal to tan inverse of, as Xc is greater than XL, Xc minus XL divided by R. So this becomes tan inverse of, so Xc minus XL, it is 4 divided by 3. So tan inverse of 4 by 3. So approximately you will get 53.1 degree. So it is a power factor angle. So now we want power factor. Power factor equal to cos of power factor angle. So it is cos of 53.1. 53.1. So approximately you will get 0.6 power factor. So but it is a lead, it gives the leading power factor. So 0.6 leading. So third option, it is the right answer. The battery capacity is expressed as, so here the battery capacity is calculated by multiplying discharge current multiplied by time required to reach terminal voltage. The battery capacity is expressed as product of discharge current multiplied by time required to reach terminal voltage. So it involves the current and time. So ampere multiplied by hours. So third option is correct. 220 volts DC shunt motor has a armature resistance of 0.5 ohm. If the back EMF is 200 volts, the current drawn by the motor is. So if you take DC shunt motor, terminal voltage V equal to 220 volts and back EMF EB, it is given 200 volts and it is armature current IA and armature resistance, it is RA. So RA, it is given as a 0.5 ohm. So it is a motor. So for this, if you write the terminal voltage V equal to EB plus IARA. EB plus IARA. So from this, we require the current drawn by the motor. So we require IA. So IA equal to V minus EB by RA. So he has given terminal voltage, it is 220 volts minus back EMF, it is 200 divided by RA, 0.5 ohm. So it is 20 volts, 220 minus 200 by 0.5. So 20 volts divided by 0.5. So it is 200 by 5. So it is 40. Current taken by the motor, it is 40 amperes. IA equal to 40 amperes. So third option is correct. A DC shunt motor is operating at 1000 RPM. Suddenly field winding is open. The speed of the motor is, so it is operating at 1000 RPM. Suddenly field winding is open. So what is the speed of the DC shunt motor? So if the field winding is open, the shunt field current ISH, so it will be 0. So if the shunt field current is 0, the flux in the field winding, it will be 0. So we know the relation N is proportional to EB back EMF divided by flux in the field winding pi. So it is the relation N proportional to EB by pi. So if it is a 0, then speed will be tends to go to infinity. So something, so it is a back EMF EB divided by 0. So something by 0, so it will be infinite. So the speed will be tends to go to infinity. So it is the answer.